Thank you, Michelle. Hi, everyone. I'm Anne, and as Michelle mentioned, I'm the practice director for our Business Central team here at Turnkey. And I've been working with the Dynamics suite of products for 25 years as a consultant, as a project manager, as a practice director. Today, we're going to focus on Business Central, and I'm excited to share more information with you about this product. So we'll start with an agenda of our topics for the day. Michelle's already talked to you about Turnkey, who we are and what we do. I'm going to talk to you about some of the advantages of moving from legacy systems to a cloud-based ERP system. And then we'll dive into Dynamics 365 Business Central. We'll talk about the functionality that exists within the product and across the different industries that it serves. I'm also going to do a demonstration of Business Central and the tools and integrations that make up the platform. And I think that will encompass several different areas of the product and give you a look and feel of what to expect with Business Central. And then we'll conclude with some next steps, and we'll have time for Q&A as well at the end. First, we're going to do a poll question. So I will give Michelle a chance to get that poll open. And then I'll give you a chance to answer the question.
Well, for some reason, I'm having some technical difficulties. So why don't we go on and I'll see if I can figure it out for the second poll question.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk next about legacy ERP systems and what would be some of the advantages to moving to the cloud. As Michelle mentioned at the beginning, Dynamics GP is an example of a legacy ERP system. There are also other products such as Sage, QuickBooks that are used today by many companies. The new versions of Dynamics software are in the cloud. Why is cloud, why does it provide you with advantages? Well, there's no infrastructure administration, so you don't have to have servers and other pieces of hardware for people to access the system. You have built-in backups and disaster recovery because it is hosted on the web, and those security features are built in to that Azure platform. You have a tight integration to other cloud products in the Microsoft Dataverse. Those are some of the things we're going to show during our demo today. But there are it's a multitude of cloud products available that just work really nicely and seamlessly together. And that's definitely an advantage of working in that space. And then accessibility and performance. You know, a cloud software provides consistency in terms of the performance. It is always tuned and easy to access. Everyone has the same experience when using it. And accessibility, you really can't beat it. You can access a product like Business Central in the cloud via any piece of any tablet, any mobile device, a PC, and you have the same user experience regardless of which device you're using. And then a big one, automatic updates and upgrades. For Business Central specifically, each year Microsoft releases 2 updates. They're called major updates, one in the spring and one in the fall. And they are automatically applied to the system. You don't have any downtime, you don't have to migrate any data. Those updates simply provide you with the latest and greatest features and functionality of Business Central, and they're automatically applied to your tenant. So when you come, that happens overnight. When you come in the next morning, you're on the latest version. Of course, there are ways to schedule and secure those, absolutely, but there's no additional cost or downtime associated with those updates. There are also minor updates throughout the year for break fixes or hot fixes, and those are, you know, just there, so you always have a fully functional system. You always have the latest functionality available to you. The number one concern on the minds of SMB owners is growth. Systems are holding companies back from the growth they're trying to achieve, and this can manifest in a number of ways. Signs that point to the need for a new ERP system would be that your systems are disconnected and your information is siloed. This is a very common problem facing small businesses. Prospects will describe to us scenarios of having to copy, paste, or rekey information multiple times across different systems in order to complete a different process or task. Possibly reporting is complicated, or it provides you with insufficient information. Out-of-the-box reports can sometimes be very basic, and you may need to buy additional software such as ClickView or Tableau, or you may have to configure those out-of-the-box reports, customize them to get the deeper insights that you need. These can be expensive and non-scalable, time-consuming efforts. In addition, some legacy systems may be too expensive to upgrade or maintain and scale. For some, it's the gradual growth of the business which makes the current software insufficient. Specifically, a lack of integration with payroll and inventory systems. For others, maybe you've been using the same software for 10 plus years, it's outdated, maybe even no longer supported. Maintaining these systems and adding new functionality for all of the changing business needs, it can get expensive. And so that is why a unified business management solution like Business Central can help. So legacy systems there are many of them, and they have great features and functionality, and you may be very happy with the system that you're using, but there are reasons, as we've discussed, why moving on makes sense. The total cost of ownership. You may be spending a lot of money on servers, storage, backup solutions, licensing, your annual software maintenance, the upgrades that you need to do to stay up to date. Those things become expensive, and that total cost of ownership can really add up. The support aspect. You may be in a situation where mainstream support for your legacy product is ending, or it may cost additional fees to extend your support. You may be in a situation where you're not getting any new security updates. Speaking of security, you may not have the security features that you need. You may have an increased vulnerability to hacks. And then compliance. Some legacy systems may not provide a mechanism for data scrutiny needed to fulfill your contract language. So these are all some really relevant reasons that companies are considering about why it's time to move on. And so, Michelle, let's try again and see if your technical difficulties have been resolved for the second poll question.
All right, are you seeing it on screen? Maybe? I'll see if I can share my screen. Let's see if I can share my screen, if that helps.
Okay.
No, I don't think that helped.
Okay.
Sorry. We'll just have to get back to that at the end then.
That's fine. Okay. I will move on to, I will need to share my screen again, Michelle. There we go. And so now we're going to talk about Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central in some more depth. And so first, with Business Central, you're deploying a single comprehensive solution. So you automatically pull systems and processes together to manage your financials, your sales, service, and operations. And you can connect with third-party applications like payroll, banking, CRM, and industry-specific solutions as well. Business Central is in the middle of the hub, and all of the activities are connected. Business Central is a highly configurable product. It's designed to get you up and going efficiently and effectively, but with the processes in place to support what you need to do. By configurable, I mean that we can work with you to identify how your business processes need to be configured, what your pain points are, and how they can be addressed, and then we can support all of those things within a system, backed by all of the tools and out-of-the-box functionality and reporting that you need. So BC supports industry-wide functionality, including budget and forecasting, project accounting, all of your financial aspects like GL, AP, AR, cash and bank management, credit and collections, fixed assets, and even deeper than that, you can handle your distribution needs within Business Central, cost management, inventory management, master planning, procurement, product information management, production, service management, transportation management, and warehouse management. So a lot of deep functionality within the Business Central system. And you can use as much as you need or as little as you need. It's very scalable from one basic set of functionality all the way up to the most complex and advanced needs. All right, our next piece today is going to be the demonstration of Business Central. So I am going to be demonstrating some key tools that we think highlight the strength of Business Central and working in the Microsoft Cloud. So we're going to take a look at Power BI, Outlook, Excel, and Teams, and how those tools integrate with Business Central. With that, I'm going to stop the slides and I'm going to switch over to my Business Central homepage. So just a little bit about Business Central to give you a look and feel of what the homepage looks like and how you can interact with it, how you can navigate around. So starting at the top, the system will keep track of some headlines and pop those up on your screen so you can interact with those. Those are just some important headline news items that you may want to reach into. You'll see that that will change as we go. You also have on the top part some quick actions. So from here, using this plus sign, I can quickly add a sales quote, a sales order, a purchase order. I can enter a payment. I also have this section here identifying different activities that may be important to me. I'm logged into Business Central as the business manager profile. The system is filled with several different profiles that you can use to change the way this screen looks, and it will quickly change what you have access to and the important things that you may want to get into. So I'm the business manager. I have access to finance, purchasing, sales. If I were to change my profile, I would then be able to access as a sales order processor, as an accountant, as an inventory manager, and it would change the headline, the activities, and these tiles here to things that were relevant to that profile. Also, while I'm here at the home page, I want to just reference this global search. This very powerful search tool. It allows me to search for anything that I want to look for. For example, I just mentioned that there are multiple profiles in the system. So I'll search for profiles and I can go directly to that page where all the profiles exist. But it also popped up for me some help documentation. So I can take a look at the different information available from Microsoft on what the profiles are. And then also it popped up some online connections that are related to profiles, and I can go out there as well. So just the global search gets you access to the information that you're looking for in all shapes and sizes. All right, so I was mentioning about these activities here. As the business manager, I want to know that I've got some overdue sales invoices and some overdue purchasing invoices. So I can click here and it will take me right into a list of what in fact is overdue. So you can see these invoices, they're from 2019. They haven't been paid, definitely overdue. And now I can interact with these and you know, kind of figure out what I want to do next as my next action. So this particular line item is highlighted. It's showing over here some stats about that customer and about that document. It's telling me what their payment terms are, who the contact is over there, and it's just giving me some other information that I may need to take action upon for this customer. I'm going to go ahead and hide the statistics so you can see the full list. These list screens are pervasive across the Business Central system. It could be for a list of customers, a list of invoices, inventory items, general ledger accounts. What you'll find they have in common is that you can search them using this search up here at the top. So I can search for a specific date, a specific customer number, a description, an amount. So really powerful way to find exactly what I'm looking for. I can also use this funnel tool here to filter my page. And right now I have a filter set up. It says show me invoices that are past due and that are still open and have a remaining amount that's greater than 0. I can create my own filters and create my own list of what it is I want to see. And that's exactly what I did here. So the search functionality, the filter functionality, that comes standard in all the lists in Business Central. And then also using the column headers, I can actually sort my columns as well. I can sort ascending, descending. I can filter by a specific column of information. So very similar to using Excel. In addition, while I'm in here, I want to show you the personalization option. So I can personalize any screen in Business Central for my user or for my profile. And I don't need a developer to do this. I can do this on my own. What this means is I can move fields around. Maybe I don't really care about the original amount. I just want to know what the amount is currently, so I can actually hide this column. Next time I come into this list, that column will be hidden. If I want to clear my personalizations, I can always do so and go back to the original screen. I can also move fields around. If I want to drag the due date all the way over here, I can do that just by grabbing it and moving it over. And I can add additional fields. So these are all the fields available for this set of data. And I can come over here and find the salesperson. I can find, select any of these items, the external document number, the customer's PO number, whatever makes sense. I can add those fields to this page and really customize my view of this data. So I'll click done on the personalization and we'll go back to what we were talking about, which is the fact that we have this list of overdue sales invoices. So things that I can do from here are I can go to my actions, go to my functions, and I can send a emailed reminder to my customer right from here, letting them know that they have a payment due, and it'll use language that I've already set up on a template to send my customer an email. I can also apply a finance charge to their account because they do have a past due invoice. So I can do that right from here, as well as attach email documents. If I have an email from the customer disputing something, I can attach that document or I can interact with that email document as well. So lots of different things that you can do to kind of navigate to this customer, to these invoices, and take action on this. So again, you'll see these lists throughout the system as we go through. This was just one example of accessing that data. So similarly, now I can take a look at the tiles here. If I open up the sales orders tile, for example, it takes me into the sales orders list. Again, I can search this list. I can filter this list. I can personalize this list. But essentially, this is showing me all my sales orders that are open or released. And this is what I want my order processing or my warehouse fulfillment department working on today. So it gives me a real-time access into the activity of the day and what the company is working on. Same thing for purchases on the accounts payable side, on the vendor side. I have access to that information as well. I can see some information about payments that have come in from customers that maybe I haven't processed yet, as well as outstanding invoices. In this section here, I can use the user task to keep track of a task list for myself of what things I need to do. And I think this is handy for, salespeople, accounting people, executives to keep a running task list in Business Central of the things that they want to accomplish. It's just like using it in Outlook, for example. We mentioned that we're going to be talking about the Outlook integration, and here is where you can see your interactions with Outlook from within Business Central. It'll keep track of any failed emails, draft emails, and what emails you've sent in the last 30 days. And then approvals is where you can work with the workflows in Business Central. So out of the box, you have some standard functionality in workflows that you can set up. An example of one of these would be setting an approval on any new inventory items that are entered, so that before that item is actually available to be sold, someone in the organization is going to check it for consistency, make sure all of the fields that need to be filled out on that item are complete. It's got the correct price, it's got the correct descriptive information, it's got the right category codes assigned to it, things like that. So you set up an approval to allow those types of approvals to happen, so that you're only putting items or customers or vendors in play when they have been approved to interact. Same thing can be used to approve journals or payments. If you want to make sure that any vendor payment over $10,000 is approved by a certain person in your organization, you can set up an approval workflow to do that. The approver can then see items here in their queue that are waiting for their approval, or they can interact directly from their email. They would get an email letting them know that there's something for them to approve. They can see that in their email and approve it or reject it if that's what they decide to do. This is a self-service section that allows you to see timesheets that you've entered or that someone else has entered and submitted to you. And this is often used by our customers that are running project accounting in Business Central, and they want to capture costs to their jobs. Down here we have our business insights section. We mentioned during the discussion previously that Business Central is going to provide intelligent insights, and that's one of its key pieces of functionality, and that's what you're seeing here. I personalized my screen to show my top favorite insights. There are lots of them available, and you can even add your own. These KPIs are part of the Business Central out-of-the-box functionality. You have a list of different key performance indicators that you can select from, and then it will demonstrate that information. I have mine as the top 5 customers by sales value right now. I can click on the different parts of this chart and drill down into the customer to, take a look in more depth as to what numbers are making this up. I like the setup guide topics here because these are all kinds of wizards that you can use to help yourself navigate through Business Central, set things up, process transactions. It just is a really helpful tool to enable your learning of Business Central and empower you to be able to set up new pieces of functionality that you want to use. I also put the favorite accounts on my insights page. Every system, every BC system, every ERP system is backed by a chart of accounts. These are my favorite accounts, maybe that I want to see on a regular basis, be able to drill into quickly and see where we stand. And you can see when I highlight or I hover over this, that I'm able to drill down into that number and actually see what makes up that balance in my checking account. And then last but not least is Power BI. And I'm going to go ahead and expand this on the screen just so you can see it in a larger version. On this first dashboard, what I'm seeing are sales by customer and item category in the last calendar year. You can see down here the customers and the breakdown of their sales, their payments, and their balance due. And the same thing up here, but just in a different form, in a graphical form. So if I click on a datum here, I can see their total sales and total payments. And I can also see down here what their numbers are as well, just represented in a different visualization. And that's the power of Power BI, is that it allows you to expose and select the data that you want to analyze, either from Business Central or another source or multiple sources combined. And then it allows you to choose which visualizations are going to make the most sense to you. Take a look at this item sales dashboard next. So this is quantity sold by item number and customer number. And what this allows us to do is if I select the item category of chair, it will show me all the different chairs. These are the item numbers here at the bottom of this chart. It will show me all of the different quantities sold by item in the chair category. I can also do a control select and select table to add in information about not only the chairs, but also the desks or tables that were sold as well. Up here, it will automatically correlate to the customer number that pertains to the sales of those items. And then on the last page here, I have a couple of different types of visualizations, which I think are pretty neat. We've got a ribbon chart here, which allows you to take a look at the months. You want to see the quantity sold by month and customer number, and you can highlight a particular month and say, you know, why did our numbers go down or go up here? And then it will likewise modify the donut chart up here and show you the different makeup of the quantity sold by that customer and by that month. And same thing here, if I select the item category, it'll break down the visualizations by that category. And here, if I select this, it'll change the ribbon and show me the pattern or the trend for that particular item sales across that period of time. So Power BI is a really important tool in cloud environments, and in the Microsoft cloud, it's a widely used tool, becoming more so every day, because you can see that the power that it gives you in terms of slicing and dicing your data and visualizing and analyzing that data. Okay, so we talked about the home page, lots of information there, and trust me, I could go on, but I'm going to stay on track and go with the tools that we're planning to demo today. The next one that I want to talk about is the Excel integration. So I'm going to go to my sales items list. And again, this will look familiar to you because we've been working with our lists and talking about how you can search them and filter them. I'm going to search for anything that has a unit of measure of pieces. And so you can see now it's found all those for me. Now I'm going to go to page and I'm going to open this up in Excel. So it created an Excel file for me of these. These are the same ones that are from that list page. And this matches directly to what I filtered. You see it's only showing the pieces, items that have a pieces unit of measure. Now, how might I use Excel in this case? Well, obviously I can't change the quantity. I can't edit the quantity on hand. That number is made up of transactions that have occurred in Business Central, and there's an audit trail behind that. So I'm not able to edit quantities or dollar amounts. That is handled by the processes and the transactions in Business Central. But what I can do with this is I can make changes to descriptive data, unit of measure data, things like that. Let's say that I want to add a certain piece of descriptive text to my items, or I want to change the base unit of measure on these items from pieces to each. And I kind of want to do it in mass. Well, I can enable editing, and then I can make those changes, and the system, Business Central, will be updated by these changes that I'm making in Excel. So that's one way of using it. Another way is that you can use it for analysis. It's a great accountant's tool to be able to pull information down from Business Central really easily and then interact with it by using pivot tables to build different reports that you want to see, or pull different types of data you want to see and compare and contrast it. You know, even financial reporting out of here. Of course, you can do financial reporting in BC too, but you know, Excel is a powerful tool that you can use to take it even further. I can also cut and paste data from other spreadsheets into this spreadsheet and automatically load that into BC. So if you can imagine how that might be used for, let's say you're using another system for payroll, you have a payroll provider and they send you a monthly file with all the transactions for payroll. Well, I could just simply cut and paste that into a journal template, and then that would be loaded into BC. So lots of different uses for Excel. All right, so and you'll find that Excel integration throughout Business Central. I happen to use inventory, but you could use that for customers, for journal entries, for cash receipts, in any of the screens that have the page option, which is just about every single one. You can use that functionality. All right, so we've talked about Excel. Let's next talk about, I'm going to go back to my home page here. Let's next talk about the Outlook integration. I mentioned specifically that you can interact with emails and approvals directly from Outlook, and that's what I want to show you. So here I have an email from a customer letting me know they would like to place an order for 2 Athens desks. So what I can do is use the Business Central functionality here to read this email and help me take action upon this. So what it does is it first looks at who sent me the email and what customer they're connected to. So in Business Central, you have customers and you have a bunch of relationships with their contacts. This is from Robert Towns from Adaptable Corporation, so I'm going to select him. And then it will pull up some information about Adaptable Corporation and give me some statistics that I can research. So they do have a past due amount, but they also have some pretty solid life-to-date and year-to-date sales. I can drill into specific statistics here if I would like to. That'll just take me right into the same information I would see within BC. Same thing here, anywhere where you see an underlined number, that means you can drill into that number and get more information. Let's say I decide that I'm going to go ahead and proceed with placing this order for my longtime customer. I can just simply go here and select to create a new order. Of course, I could start it as a quote. I could do a credit memo. I could do a payment reminder, but in this particular case, I'm going to create an order for my customer. And Business Central will automatically read the text in the email, so it knows what SKU number to look for, and it suggests that line item to me. It knows that it's an Athens desk and that they want to purchase 2. So my customer doesn't have to know the SKU number. I don't even have to know it. The system will read it and connect that to the data in your Business Central database. So I'll select that suggested line item. And then the next thing it will do is create the order template for me. So if I were in Business Central, it's just reminding me here that my work date is about a year old. So that's what that means, and that's why these dates are what they are. But this information has defaulted in from Business Central. The customer name, the customer contact, I can put in their PO number, I can manipulate these dates if needed, but really I actually don't have to do anything. It's automatically suggested the item, the quantity. The system has, Business Central has kept track of that item's pricing data, and I can just simply do a quick check, make sure I don't need to put any information in, and then I can release this order. And so I did all of that right from my Outlook email. I didn't have to go into Business Central at all, and I still had access to all the information I need to make decisions and take actions. And it's really that simple. There's a lot more you can do with this too. As I mentioned, the approvals, you can interact with the approvals, you can create quotes, any type of document that you create, you can attach as a PDF or email a confirmation right back to your customer. So it's a very useful way to use Outlook and Business Central together. Okay, and last but not least is my the Teams integration. So Teams is part of the Microsoft Outlook or the Microsoft stack as well. And so I can use, I have a connector for Business Central and Teams as well. So what you're looking at here is a customer list. I'm actually in Teams and I'm able to see a customer list, an item list, and I can add additional lists that I want to here. It just pulls the information directly down from BC. And you'll notice that I can use the same functionality here that I had in Business Central. So I can search for specific customers. I can create a new customer right here on the fly. I can actually, if I want to, if I'm looking at this customer list and I've found this particular customer, I can give them a call and it will actually use Teams to place that call. And what makes that even nicer is Business Central will record that interaction. So not only does it record emails that are sent related to Business Central transactions, it also records phone calls as well. So you almost have you have a mini CRM right there within BC for all your customer relationship management. I can do a lot of other things from here as well. From Teams, I could create a new quote, order, invoice, credit memo. I can do a quick query on this customer's order summary. I can also I can do a return order for them. I can contact them directly. Just lots of different things I can navigate to here that are relevant to this customer list. So you can imagine if this was a very long and large list of customers, I could very quickly come in here, search, filter for what I was looking for, and then take the next steps that I wanted to interact with that customer, that item, that vendor, whatever the case may be. I can go directly into Business Central here. If I've decided that I want to go in now and you know, be within BC, I can click right here on this globe and go in. And then I can also use chat functionality. So if I go to my chat and I want Sam, my colleague, to be sure to contact Robert about his new order for the Athens desks, I can select to search for Robert, pull his information, and I can ask Sam to please give him a call about his new order. Now, Sam will then have the ability to pop that out, take a look at the details, and he'll be able to use Teams to call that customer as well or send them an email. Thanks, Sam. Okay, that takes us down through the Teams functionality as well. So hopefully that gave you a look into not only the look and feel of Business Central and the different components that make up the home screen. The power of all these tools is also something we really feel is key about this product and about being in this cloud integrated environment. So with that, I am going to go back to our slides for a few final thoughts as we move towards our conclusion. You may be wondering, you know, after looking at the system and seeing the different pieces of functionality that you have there, the depth of the functionality that does provide, the scalability, what would you need to set aside if you were planning for an upgrade to Dynamics 365 Business Central? So we put together this information as a guide for a finance implementation, finance being general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, cash management, and fixed assets. That would be from 150 to 400 hours for an implementation. For finance plus distribution, distribution adds on sales, purchasing, and inventory control, as well as basic warehousing. That would be from 400 to 800 hours. And then if you needed, you know, the full richness of the Business Central solution set, meaning finance, distribution, and manufacturing or service, that would be 800 plus hours. Those are complex implementations, but still within a reasonable budget and timeline for implementing the product.